Yeah, we're filming.
Welcome back to the Homemade Show.
Welcome back to the Homemade Show. Today's episode is about aliens.
And how bogue it is.
And how bogue it is. Okay, so I have my opinion, and I guess Kyle has his, but he also got information from his friend who is completely convinced. Is that right?
Yes.
You're laughing.
I heard it once. He said at his house one time. He says,
Don't-
I forget what
don't-
I forget what the conversation was.
Don't say his
but-
name. Remember, don't say his name.
No, but I forget what people were talking about. And he's walking and he goes, I already know extraterrestrials exist. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. But for this topic, I basically said to him, tell me why you think aliens exist. And some of it is some of it's okay. I'm gonna apply here.
Keep your composure while you read what you have.
So I basically just went, tell me what you know about aliens.
Okay.
And that kind of sounds like I'm interested, like I want to learn all about them. And he instantly said, it's a documentary on Netflix called, he's like, watch Aliens on the Moon. It's on Netflix, good movie documentary. As if he wanted to like dodge his theory on it.
Maybe he just wanted you to get the info that he had from that documentary, but
Well, he
Okay.
said he's watched over 500 documentaries and read stuff.
okay.
And I basically said to him, I'm like, no, I don't care about those. I want to know your theory on aliens. And the first thing he said was, well, I don't see how our planet, out of billions and billions, is the only one to sustain life.
Okay. That's a question a lot of people probably have.
Yeah. And then I said, what else? I heard you say extraterrestrials exist. And then he once again says, watch Aliens on the Moon, trust me, watch it. And I said, I don't care about that. I want info, what you personally think. And then he said, watch it, it's real NASA / astronauts talking about aliens and what they have encountered. And then I got ticked off because he's not giving me info. I said, I want your personal theory about it. And then he said, better explain in person. And I just basically said, just type like,
Just try.
like minor stuff.
It's like pulling teeth, right?
Yeah, it's like
Just tell me.
Just type it. It's easier to type probably than say in person. And then he said he gave me a teaser, and he said, this is what he says to me. Some aliens race, he probably meant to say alien races, have been taking gamma rays from our sun. He said that to me.
Okay.
And then he says, I can't, oh, that's not much of it. And I said, say another teaser. And then he says this, alien abductions are real, and the government knows it because they gave them permission to a certain amount of abductions of humans. Aliens experiment on human bodies and even possibilities of breeding because the alien species gene can't carry on. To me, that sounds completely stupid and bogus. And then he says, I know lots of stuff. LOL. I could go on about this. And I said to him, how do you know the abductions are real and they experiment on human bodies? And he says, reliable resources to do them hacking NASA and people from NASA. And I told him, I'm like, so wait, you're saying you think the government is letting aliens take humans and experiment on them? And then he says, yes, but there is a problem because they abducted too many humans, and it's not just one species of aliens. And then another thing, he said there are something around 50 to 100 different alien species. Have you ever heard of reptilians? but I don't think I don't really believe that because there's no proof to prove it. And then he said some people, but I haven't heard. And then that's when I said that all sounds completely bogus.
Right? What did he say to that?
Well, he said after, he's like, I know it does, but I've been following this stuff since grade 11. And then he says, I find the universe and other possible forms of life very interesting. And then he says, you just have to find the right resources. And then he goes, I can show you more stuff next time you come over. And then that's when he told me he read and watched over like 500 documentaries about it. And then he asked me if I've ever heard of, I think it's Anonymous. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's a
"Oh,
hacking group.
And then he says, yeah, they are a group of hackers trying to better the world and show the public what the government is not telling us. And then he said something about ISIS in the current war.
What did he say
And then
about
I
that?
told him again that all seems bogus.
What did he say about ISIS?
Well, he just said they are. Well, this is in the same sentence. He said they are now known to a lot of people for what they are doing is ISIS in the current war.
He's saying ISIS is aliens?
That's what it seems like. If ISIS is ISIS,
Yeah, it is.
and then this is the last part. He says, and for catching predators and pedophiles to the FBI because you haven't seen the evidence. This is when I said this all seems bogus. And he said something about catching predators and pedophiles to the FBI, and then he said, because you haven't seen the evidence, that's why I can show you stuff. And then that's what he told me. That's what he does when he's not gaming. Look up this crap.
He's looking up aliens and alien conspiracies.
So that's everything. That's all the stuff that I got from him because he's all about aliens. And actually, I want to tell you something also. Yeah, he's convinced me. I totally believe in aliens now because I'm stupid.
Because I'm stupid.
That's not true, but yeah. What do you think of all that? I feel like I'm just going on, but
Yeah, I mean, well, you had some stuff to bring, so.
I mean that sounds bogus.
It is
It's
bogus.
retarded.
Let me explain, okay?
Hang on
Okay.
a second. Is this gonna play into religious views too?
Yeah,
Because-
totally it will.
Because I
You have other
have
stuff?
been reading stuff about religious, like Christianity and stuff, and I actually watched all your Without Excuse videos last night. Well, I listened to them.
You did?
Yeah, just to prep some stuff.
Okay. Did I talk about aliens in that?
Yeah, you did. You said something about Satan leading people astray. Something about playing into aliens and people that like moving people away from like God and stuff.
Yeah, so let me go back to what your friend was saying. We won't name him. But he talked about how he can't believe that out of the entire universe, Earth is the only one with life, right?
Yeah, he said that numerous times.
Yeah, so the reason that people believe that is because of the theory of evolution.
I think he believes in evolution too.
Yeah, you said he does. So the theory of evolution believes that as after the Big Bang and as the Earth was forming, there was like a genetic soup and amino acids joined together, and they slowly became more and more complicated, and they changed into single-celled organisms, then more complex organisms, and eventually very complex organisms, which is us.
Yeah.
So they believe that it was all natural processes, that just through natural processes, life evolved and showed up on the planet. So that
Just showed up.
yeah, so if you believe that the natural process can create life, then you can look out into the universe and say, okay, I believe that that natural process could occur on another planet as well, because it occurred on Earth.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is evolution has already been proven as completely false. It doesn't work.
It has.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, so I explained this to you before. The theory of evolution believes that the way that the natural process works to create more complex life is through mutations. So that as you get a mutation in the genetic code, it allows for differences or changes in an animal that might make it more advanced. But
Yeah.
it's already been proven that that can't happen because when you get a mutation in genetic code, it breaks it down and you lose information. You don't gain information. So you don't gain information to go from like scales on a fish to feathers, or scales on a reptile to feathers, you know, like a reptilian dinosaur turning into a bird.
Yeah.
You can't get forward information, you can't gain information. It's always damaging, it takes information away. So that can't work. Their theory doesn't work. They also cannot link an ape to a man. They haven't found this genetic missing link to prove that, you know, that's where we came from. They can't prove it. If you look online, there's people that talk about it, they just can't prove it. So it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The theory doesn't work. So if I go back to, like you said, religious views or biblical views, I have this thing here, just wait. I'll read it. I typed this out. So all men are created with a certain knowledge of a higher power. So I believe God created man, created Adam and Eve. They were the first humans. They had children. That's where we all came from. Because if you just think backwards, you came from a mother and father. If you go backwards
Adam and Eve are our long-lost parents.
Yes, if you go backwards in time, every human being came from two. It's the only way it can work, because you came from two. So all men are created with a certain knowledge of a higher power. So God created us to want to seek Him, because we were created by Him. He wants a relationship with us. That's why we all seek this higher power. But in this day and age, some people aren't taught about God, and so they desire to worship something. Their desire to worship something gets misguided or misdirected. That's why we have different world religions. So every human being has this desire to worship something. Different parts of the world where they haven't learned about the one true God have learned about Allah or Buddha or...
Well, those are those other religions?
Those are other religions, yeah. So because everybody has this desire to worship...
Witness.
Yeah. Well, that's an offshoot of Christianity, but because everybody has this desire to want to know God, that's why you have different religions all over the world. They've all, for some reason, created this religion, which is a desire to want to reach a God. Every community on earth has that. Every ethnic group has that. Native Americans have the Holy Spirit or the Great Spirit. You know, it's in every single culture, this desire to worship a higher power. So that's why we have different religions, and that's why some folks believe that aliens exist. Aliens fill the void of a higher power. It sounds like they're out there and they're distant and they're much more technologically advanced than we are, so they must be smarter, and we can't reach them. It sounds like a god, right? If they're more advanced than we are and they come down here, we might view them as a god. So that's, again, that link to the created desire to want to worship something beyond ourselves. It's just another form of higher power. So that's why
That makes sense.
that's why somebody can believe that, and you have to question, why is it that everybody on the planet has that belief? And then some people say, oh, I'm an atheist, but that's just another form of religion. You have to convince yourself that nothing is there, because if you look at creation, you have to admit, okay, somebody put all this stuff here. You know, there's laws of nature, that gravity, there's laws of photosynthesis, laws of evaporation and condensation and all of that. They always work. You know, the moon forces the tides. There's laws in nature that can't be broken. And so God put those laws there. That's the only way they could be there. They're designed to do something. Somebody had to do that. Somebody had to put all that stuff there. So you have to be an atheist, you have to convince yourself that nobody designed that stuff. And that's a religion.
That it was just there.
Yeah, it's a religion. Like if I look at a camera, I can't convince myself realistically that the camera it created itself. It's designed. It does something. You know, somebody put that together to do what it does. When you look at the laws of nature and the way creation works, you have to look at it and say it's designed. You have to, and if you can't do that, you're calling yourself an atheist. You have a religion, and atheism is a religion. It has to be. So what I said in the other videos was Satan's goal is to keep everybody
Lead people away.
yeah, to keep everybody distracted. If he can keep somebody's belief on the belief of an alien, then he's
That's away from like God and stuff.
Right. He's keeping you away from God, which is his goal.
Which is his whole plan, right?
That's his goal. As long as you're confused or you're convinced of something else, he's won. That's his whole plan. Satan is doomed to hell, and he wants to take as many people with him as he can.
So wait, are you Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. So did I interrupt you?
Yes. I have a couple Bible verses as well, but I won't read those yet.
Hang on. This is something else that he's told me before. Not Satan, but he says that he doesn't believe in like religion. He's not religious,
Right.
but he's told me the way that I guess Earth was created, which is right here. He said, well, I'll just read this to you. It says the Earth forms. The Earth is. Hang on, this might not be it. Yeah, the Earth is the thought to have been formed about 4.6 billion years ago by collisions in a giant disc-shaped cloud. He said before that that's how Earth was made. That's how everything got here, was something Earth collided into each other, and that to me that just sounds retarded.
Yeah,
Collision.
that's kind of along the lines of the Big Bang Theory, but not quite. I've
You
never.
said something about Big Bang before.
Yeah, there is the Big Bang Theory, which is the theory that there was absolutely nothing, not even space, nothing, and all of the sudden, out of nowhere, there was a bang, and everything that we see now came into existence.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. That theory doesn't work at all. Like, it's just saying that again, natural processes occurred in space, and boom, just everything showed up. But the problem with it's not the problem. I was gonna say the problem with your friend's belief is that he's believing that there was space and everything in it, and then as far as Earth's origin is concerned, some two things just banged together that formed Earth, and then over time it turned into what it is now, and we came out of the genetic soup and we evolved and all that stuff. Right? That's essentially what it is. So the problem with it that I see is that he's saying that there was stuff before there was Earth. But where did all that stuff come from? That's a question that I would ask him. Where did all that stuff
I did
come
ask
from?
him that before.
He has no answer, right?
He didn't respond back. There was a little while ago we had got to this little bit of a discussion about this stuff, and I asked him. I just kept saying, "Well, where did this come from? Somebody had to have made that. Where did that come from?" And there got to a point where I said the one last, "Well, who created that? Where did that come from? It couldn't just be there." And he didn't respond.
Because he
It was
has
like he got ticked off and was like, "Screw you! I don't need to explain to you."
right. It's because he has no answer, and you're hitting him at the point where he has no answer, and because he
Because
can't.
stuff can't just be there, right?
Right, and the reason stuff can't just be there is because of information, genetic information. The reason that's important is because matter itself cannot generate information. The only way information can occur is through an intelligent being exercising his mind and generating information. For example, writing a computer code, or writing a story, or writing plans for a chair, or painting a picture.
Yeah.
That's information on the page or on the canvas or whatever. That's information. The only way you can get that is by an intelligent being producing that information, by exercising his mental ability. And that's what's in our DNA. It's information. So it's the color of your hair, it's the height of you, it's the color of your eyes, the shape of your body, the shape of your mouth. Everything about you is written in your DNA, and that's information. So that information can't just show up. There's too much of it. I mean, it's in plants, it's in plants, it's in animals, every living thing.
Zebras.
Yeah, every living thing has DNA in it. It has information. And so you have to conclude, where did all that information come from? It can't just be there, because I've never seen a rock generate information.
Some people would just say it was just always there.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's like, how does it just there?
It's like saying Windows XP was always just there.
Yeah.
That's because that's the way the DNA works. It's like a computer, and it has two parts. If to make it really simple, one part that
If
generates,
not, it won't work.
yeah, one part generates the part that the other side needs, and
That's what
without
you
the
said in one of those videos.
yeah, without the two of them, the whole thing falls apart. It couldn't be like, oh, this part evolved over millions of years, and then all of a sudden this part showed up, and then it just started working. It can't work that way. This would die before that one showed up. It just wouldn't work. I just forgot. I was gonna say something else, and I forgot it now. See that?
Okay, wait. I have also been doing other reading about this, and you guys have been feeding me like religious stuff since I was like 13.
I have.
Because I didn't grow up. Well, I went to church. We went to church a couple times, like in Winnipeg, but I don't think we were like Christian, and I don't think I'm still a full Christian because I'm not. But I've been like doing reading stuff, and like it said, I read something about the Earth being perfectly round.
Yeah.
There's no like dents. It's perfect, and I think you said in one of the videos too that it everything's like reliable, like the 24-hour day, like the sun. What else? I guess the moon.
Yeah, like
Everything how it is right now. Like the Earth spins a full 24-hour day. It's completely round. It's like perfect. Same with the planets; they're all like aligned in I guess a certain way.
well, the way it seems like is that the solar system is built in a way to sustain Earth. Because
Yeah.
Earth is in the exact band of space around the sun to sustain life.
And the Earth is put in a certain spot, not too close to the sun and not too far,
Right.
just right. So, and I read something else. If it was too close to the sun, we'd burn up. If it was too far, we'd freeze.
Right. It's in the exact right spot.
It's like everything is just put in the perfect spot so we can, I guess, survive.
Right. And the Bible says in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then it talks about how he made the earth, and then he made the sun, he made the moon and all that stuff. So he formed the earth before he ever put us on it. And the Bible talks about how he did that. He formed the earth before we were ever on it. He made the plants and the land and all of that, and then he put animals, and then he put us.
I think you covered all that stuff in that Without Excuse videos because you talked only in Genesis.
Yeah, I probably did.
There's also this. Remember this?
No, did I give that to you?
You and Amy bought that for me all those years ago.
Oh, really?
When I was staying with you guys for that month.
That's not a Bible, though, is it?
No.
It's just like
I'm not sure what this is, actually.
like a
It
teen
says
book, like
366 devotions on how to find Jesus in real-life situations. Skateboard, scooters, and scripture.
situations.
It just shows, like, it's like stuff like this.
Oh, okay, that's called a devotional, yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like one of them's called, like, a good role model is our place. And you guys would have me, I think each day read a page out of it. Like, all of us would, like, sit down and, like, read a page out of this, or I would read it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Something like that. What?
So I said I don't remember that.
You bought me that Bible, too.
Well, I did buy that for
A
you.
little Bible, but...
Yeah. So I'm gonna read this because we're gonna wrap up the video here. Okay.
Did everything get said that was supposed to be said?
I think so, but I want to read this because the one other thing we didn't touch on with the thought of aliens
Yeah.
is we touched on how Satan is using it to distract people and keep them away
But
from
wait,
the
what
idea of
about
God.
what about some of those people that think they see UFOs?
That's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The lights in the sky and all that kind of stuff. Okay. This is Acts 2:17-21. And it shall come to pass in the last days that God, says God, that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. And on my men servants and on my maid servants I will pour out my spirit in those days, and they shall prophesy. I will show wonders in the heaven and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that whomever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Specifically, I will show wonders in the heaven in the last days.
Wonders in the heaven?
Yeah, wonders in the heaven.
What does that mean?
That means that there will be things in heaven or in the sky that we can't explain. They're called wonders.
Is that like UFO sightings and stuff?
That's what I believe it is, because there's no clear evidence that there are any sort of ships or anything. But they are lights in the skies that we can't explain. And the
I think
Bible...
you said that to me before, too.
Yeah, and the
Like,
Bible
there's something
says
about
that God will show
UFO.
lights in the heaven, wonders in the heaven. There's one more. He replied, watch out that you are not deceived, for many will come in my name, claiming, I am he, and the time is near. Do not follow them. Hold on. Oh, do not follow them. When you hear of wars and uprisings, do not be frightened. These things must happen, but the end will not come right away. This is Jesus talking, by the way.
Earthquakes.
Yeah. Then he said to them, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places, such as the Zika virus or what's that one? Ebola.
Ebola.
Isn't that the one that people got sick from?
I think so.
So there will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places, and fearful events and great signs from heaven.
All that stuff's happening right now.
Right. So when I explain
There's an
that,
earthquake.
when I read that, that sounds like right now, right?
You said that in that one of the, I forget which one, but you said it in the Without Excuse.
Right. But yeah, like if I
Something
just
about all this destruction happening.
right, and when I read that, it sounds like now, right? Sounds like stuff that's going on now. But he also said great signs from heaven. So
Wait, let me ask, or
no,
finish.
go ahead.
So there's like proof of God around us, right?
I believe so. It's just the Bible says that you will know that there is a God by with the things that are made.
Yeah.
Which means the fact that, like we talked about, the earth is in the perfect spot to sustain life, and the way the plants work, and the sun feeds the plants, and the plants grow, like all the way that the order of things. The plants grow food for the animals can eat it, all that kind of stuff. The fact that everything seems to be the fact that everything seems to be provided and put in an order, and the way things work, it all works together. Yeah, the fact that there's so much water that we can all drink. The animals need it, we need it, but it's all created by the planet. It's just there's an order to things.
Now, Satan, is he alive?
Yeah.
Like, is he a human, or is he like a force?
He is a fallen angel.
But can he like take on like the look of like a human if he wanted?
Angels can, yes. So yes, he can.
So he's a fallen. So he's an angel, but he's a fallen angel.
Right. So
Okay,
that you would
so
call
can
that
he,
you would
like-
call that a demon.
A demon. Well, yeah. Can he show up in like fire or smoke?
I don't know, because like angels have a form. Like you've heard. Oh, we're being reconnected. So you've heard angels have a form. They have wings, and they're big. And they're of the people that have actually seen them, they're majestic. Okay, they're very huge, and they have wings and things. I gotta call him back. So they're very big and they're majestic, so they do have a form. So I don't know if they would actually show up in fire based on how he asked me. We're gonna call him back and get reconnected. Okay.
What the heck's going on?
I don't know. We got disconnected. So as I was saying,
You know what? It's probably Saints screwing around.
it could be because now we're trash talking him. So you
So
asked.
wait.
You asked,
I
can
asked.
a demon show up in fire?
Yeah. Can he show up like in smoke? Like that? Like I mean, like the shape of like a his face or whatever.
You're talking about the 9/11 picture?
I guess so. And I seen another fire picture that said something about Satan in it, and it said it was real, but I don't know.
Well,
I'm just curious to know if he can like, because that Satan, I like watched a video before at a certain part of people saying that a face shows up, and I watched and it does show up.
does, yeah. I would believe that a demon could probably influence the smoke to create a face, but I don't think that's
Just
him.
like it can influence humans. Is that how exorcism happens?
Well, exorcism is a demon actually enters somebody's body and basically.
Okay, it's a demon, but it's not Satan himself.
Right. There's lots of demons, but Satan is like the one, the head of it all.
Do you remember when my mom said that she saw some sort of human in our house before?
No.
She said it was in the old house in the Windsor Street. She said that Amber woke up and saw like the figure of someone standing in the doorway, and she screamed. And I think my mom saw it too. And then my mom thought it was like a good ghost or something, or a good whatever.
Yeah.
And she told me that, I started feeling kind of afraid. And I think I messaged you and I said, I feel kind of freaked out about this. And you said that, and you told us that it might have been a demon pretending to be nice to try to get in.
Oh, I remember
And
that. I
and
remember that.
then
Yeah.
you told me basically to say out loud, get out, you're not welcome here. And I did. And I think I said something else, and I felt weird after. Like, not like a bad weird, it was like I can't explain it. It was just like I can't explain it. I felt different, I guess.
Yeah. That could have been. Well, I'll tell you, a good angel would never do that. That's why I said it's probably not a good angel.
I think Amber even drew there was no face, but I think she drew like the outline of like
What she
the
saw.
hair and the body. Yeah.
That's creepy.
Too bad I couldn't give him a
Yeah.
because he's not real.
Well, he's not physical.
Well, I would go right through like this.
Right. So have we rambled on long enough about this topic?
I think I've got everything out that I wanted to.
I think we covered everything.
Is there something else you wanted to say? I think I feel like I interrupted you at some point.
No, I mean I said it to the camera, but when we disconnected, I just said it to the camera.
Crap!
You can watch it back later.
You probably said this. This is what you said. When I got disconnected, he's like, aliens are real.
Oh yeah, that's what I said, right? No. Okay, please subscribe, please comment, tell us what you think about this topic.
Favorite and share.
All that stuff. We'll see you
Want
next.
another 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, we're approaching 2 million now, so keep going.
Yo.
We'll see you next time on the Homemade Show.